Okay, the drawer front type product attribute is almost identical to door type attribute in the fact that you need to create your groupings in like kind products, and yes, we'll go over the material validation again here in just a minute. ID is just a unique ID for you to be able to give your product if you want to use that ID for validations or other things later. For example, if you want a validation to kick on when a three-piece is ordered, you could use an ID for those kinds of functions. Outsource is whether you want it to add the price of the door or not. If and or do it in-house or not. So the main function of this is to, if you're going to use business to business as a form of looking at someone else's products, then you're going to want to use this outsource ID as a 0 because that other product will be taken into account with its markups in that instance. In the case that you're going to use the pricing of your own products, you'll use a 1. Material validator functions the same as doors in the fact that the front material and finish also has a material validator, and the door and drawer front both have material validators. These are what cause the system to check against one another and make sure that it is a material that will function with this kind of a front. More explanation to that, go ahead and go back and watch the door type. Pricing ID is the same thing. We're going to be looking at which formula to use. This will be either a 1, 2, or a 3. I've navigated to the pricing portion of a product, just a base 1 drawer here, and if you look at the door and drawer fronts, this is what that's referring to, a 1, a 2, or a 3. And that will point it to this formula, that formula, or that formula, depending on how you're going to price your products. Now, depending on those pricing formulas, you will use these next 3 values or not. Depending on which one you select, it may or may not look at one or these fields. Square foot price, so if you're doing a square foot pricing model, which is number 1, then it will use only this. If you're using a base price plus square foot overage, so on and so forth, it's going to look at your base price plus your square foot overage. Now remember, on pricing, no matter what, a drawer front is also going to look to these values, and it will add a finish value, the square foot finish cost, also to the product. Catalog is simply what catalog it's pulling the products from. Export is what's the specific name of this item for your exports. Same thing here with panel, style and rail, and edge.